Hello, YouTube land. Hello, photographer YouTubers and photographer YouTube creators and all the other people that might be watching my video. I decided to post a editing video of how my workflow is once I get an image from my camera card into Photoshop. My editing workflow has changed quite a bit over the last couple of years, and so right now I have an image of a bird I took out in the backyard the other day, and it's not nothing fantastic. I wasn't ready for the bird, so I grabbed my camera real quick, snapped a few photos here, and I'm going to be editing this one right here. And so once I find the image on my computer, I'll actually open Lightroom and find the image. From there, I right-click and go to Show in Finder. And the image is right here, showing in Finder. I don't need Lightroom anymore. Close down Lightroom. Oh, well, in the background you can actually see my recording, my voice here in Logic, so we don't need that. Once I find the image in Lightroom, this one right here, I click, drag it down on top of my Photoshop app icon, and it does a little bouncy down there. And here we go. The image opens up in a camera raw. And there's our little birdie. Actually, it's a big birdie. It's a bird of prey. I'm thinking it's, if I get a little closer, I don't think I'm still going to be able to tell what it is. It's a bird of prey of some sort, maybe a juvenile eagle, maybe, or I don't think it's, maybe even a red-tailed hawk. But regardless, it's not a very good, clear image. This is just going to be a quick edit showing you guys what my workflow is. I'll try to bring it using the regular detail over here, sharpening in Camera Raw before I bring it into Photoshop and do a couple of tweaks with my Visionary Panel 2, which I'll be showing. First, I usually go into Lightroom. Even before I do my any really edits, I click on the denoise, and we're going to let it denoise here. As you can see, it's up about 28%. I'm probably going to stop the video and get back with you all when the denoise is complete. Alrighty, back with you here. The denoise takes a few minutes, so it's all done, all complete. What I'm going to do now is use the auto button. And we see it did a little bit of adjusting there, which is quite all right. And I'll open up my light section. Most of the time I will just go open up the highlights all the way, and I'll open up the shadows all the way. And I'll reset my whites by double-clicking on the little triangle slider button thingy, and then I'll hold the Option key down. I'm on a Mac. I don't know what the Option key is on it. Well, it's probably the same on the Windows. Option key down and go this way until whites get blown out, and then I back it off until I can see no more white blowouts, not even the least little tiny speck. And then I do the blacks, hold the Option key down, go this way until the blacks start to come blown, start to be overbearing here. A little bit comes in, is okay, and I release. That's how I set my tone. And the white balance, a little trick in a Camera Raw that don't work in Lightroom. Okay, my light exposure contrast, I usually don't I like a lot of contrast in my images before I go to Photoshop. Sometimes I forget to back that off, but I usually have 0 contrast. And then I come down to my little color section here, and I get my eyedropper. And a neat thing, a little trick Blake Rudis shows in his critiques of images at f64. If I click anywhere on here, or click and drag and make me a square, say that, it takes a calculation and it adjusts the white balance as it should be. And I can always change it around a little bit. If I don't like it, I can always go back to as a shot, or I can always go back to custom. And if that's a little too warm, which I think it is, I'll just back that off to taste. That should be good. And I'm looking at the whole image here. Okay, I'm done with the eyedropper tool. I'll click and put that back in its place. And that brings that over there. The color looks good. Everything else, vibrance and saturation, I think I'll leave them alone. And I will come down to my calibration. And I like to have my blue up to about 12 on the blue. And I don't go as high on the green. I go to about 2. And this is on every image. I do this on every image regardless. And the red primary, I go that about 2. Some people will go down here and mess with all the other things and fool around with that. But I'm pretty happy with my workflow the way it is. And it could possibly change within the next several months, maybe. But right now, this is my workflow. Get the calibration there. Come out of that. And on this particular image, I don't really need to do much else. If there was a lot of other color, and I would probably go in and mask and use where is that little point color? There it is. There's the point color right there. Sometimes I will go in there and pick up my little eyedropper there and go to a specific color if I see that it needs work, or go to specific colors all over. This is just I didn't want to make the video too long, but I do now, since I've become a visionary artist, I take a lot more time with my images, even though this one may not seem as, great in so many areas because it was done quick. And I'll zoom in and you can see the branches there is in his way. You can see a little bit of his beak here, and I'm not even sure I can make out much of an eye. But like I said, this is just a real quick edit here. What I should probably do is but I'm not going to in this image. I would select the object, which is the bird here, and I would go sharpen it by masking. I'm not going to do any of that. I'm just going to leave it as is. As I mentioned, this is just a general workflow video, but I like how the bird looks, and pretty soft feathers there. But again, it's not in focus as I normally do. The shutter speed was low on this one. Like I mentioned, I grabbed my camera real quick after I saw it come in and land here. And it took off too, but at the time I just couldn't get my settings right to even get a good picture of it in flight. Bird photography is really, really tough. I'm still learning the ins and outs of it. So having said that, I'm thinking I'm going to just go ahead and take this image into Photoshop by clicking the open button down here, and we're going to go into Photoshop, and now we're going to go with a few little adjustments after I do my crop. We're just going to go with that crop right there. And then I'm going to hit Command 0 to bring it back into full screen. And there we go. We see the outline of a bird. And that's about all. Can't make out what kind of bird it is, like I said, but it's just a quick, basically to show you my workflow. I go into the visionary panel up here, and I'll do a quick tone sculpt on it. And just play around in here and see what I like and what I don't like. Let's click the layer off, see what it looks like. If all these branches and stuff wasn't in the way, I would definitely take more time with this bird. But you really can't tell a whole lot. Did I pick a bad image to show for this? Probably did, but nonetheless, it is what it is, as they say. And a little evaluation, it's called a tone evaluation button right here. And whatever's in white, the eye will go to. Of course, this image has a lot of white, so we're looking all over the place, and we're wondering, our eyes are going, where am I supposed to stop and look? So we make our adjustments by darkening everything around the bird. And an easy way to do that, real quick, let's open it up in Camera Raw. Let's do a radial gradient from here. About there. Now, let's invert that mask. Now we're going to go to the exposure and drop it down around the bird. Thusly. Now we're going to click OK. And there we have it. We have the bird where we want with the radial mask around the outside, giving it a vignette. And we'll open up the vision panel again. And there is a button where it gives me a little bit of perceived sharpness, which I think that did a pretty good job. That's all I'm going to do, folks. This has been just a short video. Once I get done cutting out all that I need to cut out, trying to find that gradient how I wanted it, and then just a basic workflow. After I do that, I'll go up. After I get off the brush tool, I'll come up and I'll export it, and it's done. So there you have it. Thanks for watching. Leave me a thumbs down and unsubscribe. Bye.